Hi everyone, so in today's video we're going to look at solving equations when we have the unknown on both sides. So I'm gonna go straight onto an example first thing. So I'm gonna look at I'm gonna look at 9x plus 5 equals 7x plus 9. So the difference on this question compared with the other questions is that we have x on both sides. Now, before I go on and explain to you how we're gonna actually solve this type of equation, I just want to go over and do a little bit of a drawing so that we understand what is happening over here a little bit better. And in doing this, I like to look at this as a balance. So I like to look at this as if we are on an actual scale where we have this side is on the left side, this side is on the right side, and this is exactly where it's balanced on. So this is how I like to look at this. I like to look at this as if this is a balance over here, and whatever I do on this side, I do on the other side. So I'm gonna make a little drawing of this so that it makes a little bit more sense when we're actually gonna do this type of questions, and he understands. And my point of view is that it's just way easier to understand. So I'm gonna put it over here. I'm gonna do a little graph or drawing, however you want to. Of this information, just for you to see how it will actually look like if we're making this or we're representing this on a balance. So I'm gonna make x's boxes, and then the numbers here like little circles, let's call them like that. So I need 9 boxes first, so I'm gonna go with 1 box, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've got 9 x's over there, and I want 5 something else. So if I put x's for boxes, I'm gonna go with little circles. So I'm gonna go with, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went with the little circles for the 5, and I went with the boxes for the x. So let me just put them over there so that it makes a little bit more sense. I've got the little x's are inside here. So each little box represents an x, and each little circle represents a positive 1. So I'm actually going to put a +1 in all of these ones so that it makes a little bit more sense. Now I've done the left side, so I'm going to actually just, let me put it in like a really nice balance over there. So imagine these are like on this, and then I want to do the same. So I'm trying for them to be like kind of the same size, so it just makes sense. So again, I'm kind of going on whatever happens on this side, I want to do on the other side. So this one has 7 boxes, so I'm gonna go on with 7 boxes for x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I have 9 little circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've done 9 little circles. Good. So these are the x's. I don't know why this one doesn't work. little x's, and these are the ones, so I've got 9 of them. Okay, so I've spent a lot of time drawing this, but I want to show to you what actually happens when we look at this one. So this is a balance. Whatever I do on this side, I have to do on this side, and I need to figure out at the end what is a little box. So how many little circles go into a box, because this is a box, so we will have some of these circles inside, if you want to think of it like that. So I am actually going to go straight on and be like, okay, so let's say I'm playing with this balance, so I want just to make sure I have the same number of boxes on both on one side. So I don't really like that I have boxes on both sides. So I'm gonna think of this like, let me take a box from here and a box from there. So I'm gonna go one box and one box, and I'm gonna continue to do that until I get rid of all of the boxes from here. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. So I crossed all of these boxes out. So the moment you can see that I'm left with 2 little boxes over there and absolutely no boxes here. So I'm only left with circles. So I'm not going to do another drawing for this, but I'm going to do kind of the same idea for the circles. So I'm going to start taking away one circle from one side to the other. So I'm going to take away this one with this one and so on. So here I have 5 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to do the same on this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right now I actually want to draw this again. So I'm going to make my balance here. I want to draw just to see what I have left. So I've got 2 boxes here. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 circles there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 circles there. So in this case, I kind of like, I stopped at this point, like I can't take away anything from this side and from this side that are exactly the same, so I can maintain the balance. So what I'm actually gonna think about in this case is like, here I have 2 boxes that are identical. Here I have 4 things. I'm just actually gonna look at them and group them. So I'm gonna put them in 2 little groups. Like this. And in this way, actually, I can look like, oh, so one little box here is actually one group here. So in the end, I actually have that one little box is the same as 2 little circles. So my final bit is this. One little box is 2 little circles. So a final solution, if I want to write it properly algebraically, it's going to be x equals 2. So I wanted to show you this in this kind of like graphical way with playing with the balance, because I think it's really cool and I quite enjoy it, and it makes me understand what happens in the equation way more than just looking at these numbers, because I can think of like balance, I'm balancing thing, I take something from the other side and go on like that. So I'm gonna actually show to you how I can write all of this thing in a more mathematical way. So I'm gonna rewrite the equation from the top. So I've got a 9x plus 5 equals to 7x plus 9. And then if you remember, the first thing I've done is I've started crossing out this boxes here, and I've crossed out 7 boxes, which actually means I took away 7 boxes on both sides. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm taking away 7 boxes on both sides. Now, when I do this, I do 9x take away 7x, which gives me 2x, which is exactly how many boxes I had there. So that's 2x equals 7x take away 7x. That means I don't have any more boxes left. And I just have the 9 little circles there. Oh, I completely forgot the plus 5. Oh my goodness. So I'm just gonna actually cross out altogether. So I'm left with 5x. I forgot the plus 5 equals to 9. Okay, so this is what I have at the moment. Now, with the other bit, with the blue color over here, I started crossing out the little circles. So I crossed out all of the circles from this side. And they're 5, which actually is the same as me taking away 5 circles on both sides. So now I'm left with the 2x equals 4. So this is on this side. And then what I've done here is I divided by 2 both sides, and that gave me in the end x equals 2, which is exactly what I got at the last bit. So I think it's quite nice because all of this thing I have done with taking away the 7x, that's like me crossing out boxes. So this is equivalent to getting one of those little boxes with the x inside to be crossed out. And then this taking away the 5 is what I've done with the circles. With the 1 inside, I crossed it out. And then the last bit, when I've started grouping the circles I had left into 2 little groups so that I could figure out what we got. So that's when I started grouping them. And I think it's a really interesting way to see all of this like that. So I've done this first for this one, and then I've started crossing out these ones. Now, I've basically done these 2 things at the same time on my graph here, on my diagram or drawing. And that's because it doesn't actually matter which one of these 2 you do first. So I'm going to show you this whole question all over again, but we're swapping these 2 around, so you can see that it is absolutely no difference. And I don't think one of the method is better than the other or faster than the other one. It's a preference, I think. So I'm gonna go again with the 9x plus 5 equals the 7x plus 9. So instead of me going on with crossing the boxes with the x, I'm gonna go on and crossing the little circles first. So I'm actually going to take away 5 first. So here I have 9x equals 7x plus 4, and then I'm taking away the 7x. And I'm left with the 2x equals to 4. Divide by 2 on both sides, I get x equals 2. So I've basically swapped these 2 around, which is absolutely no problem. And I think it's quite interesting that we can swap them around like that, and there are absolutely no changes to the calculation. And I find this very interesting and quite rewarding that I basically get to choose which method I want to solve this question by. And it's quite interesting and I quite like it. So I'm just going to go and do another example that is maybe not harder, but it can get a little bit more complex. So I have 9x plus 5, because for some reason that's my favorite start today, equals 3x minus 7. So I'm going to show you both the method where I look at the x's first and then the method where I look at the numbers first. So I'm actually going to call them method 1 and then I'm going to do method 2. So method 1, I am going to look at the x's first. So I'm actually going to take away the 3x on both sides. So I've got 9x, take away 3x, that gives me 6x. I'm going to add a 5 equals 3x, take away 3x, that's a 0. And then I have a negative 7. So I'm going to put the negative in there. And now I want to take away the 5 on here. So I'm left with the 6x equals negative 7, take away 5, that's negative 12. I divide by 6 on both sides. X equals negative 2. So that's one way to do this, and I think it's quite nice. I quite like it. And then I'm going to show you the second one, where we're basically swapping this step with this step, and it's exactly the same idea. So I've got 9x plus 5 equals the 3x take away 7. So I'm swapping these around. I'm going to do take away 5 first. So I'm left with 9x here equals 3x take away 12. I'm going to take away the 3x. 9x take away 3x, that's 6x equals negative 12. Dividing by 6, I get x equals to negative 2. So it's exactly the same idea. It's just you can do these two steps in any order you want to, and I think that's really cool. So yeah, this is it for today. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.